श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। द्राविडगमसारज्ञं रामानुजपदाश्रितं सुतीयं गुरुकेशार्यं नमामि शिरसान्वहम्। श्रीमते निगमान्तमहादेशिकाय नमः। श्रीमते आदिवञ्चडगोपयतीन्द्रमहादेशिकाय नमः. Hi kids, today on the occasion of Thirunakshatram, birthday of Thirukurugai Piran Pillan, let me narrate an interesting story about one of the most celebrated Shishyas, disciples of Srimad Ramanuja. Around 1000 years ago, in Tirupati, a very learned person named Thirumalai Nambi used to live. He came in the Vamsam lineage of great Vaishnava scholars Nadamunigal and Alavandar. He was also the maternal uncle of Sri Ramanuja. Thirumalai Nambi named his third son as Kurugeshan. He was also known as Pillan. Kurugeshan in his childhood itself was not spending time on playing. He was always chanting Mahavishnu's names and reading, thinking on Mahavishnu's avatars and his leelas. One day, some Sri Vaishnavas, Vishnu Bhaktas from Srirangam, came to Tirupati on a pilgrimage. They were talking a lot about Sri Ramanuja. Hearing that, Kurugeshan got impressed and started talking a lot about Sri Ramanuja. Thirumalai Nambi was so happy to see that. At that time, Thirumalai Nambi's wife's brother's son came to Tirupati. His name was Kidambi Achan. Kidambi Achan was one of the disciples of Sri Ramanuja. Later, he came to be known as Madappalli Achan. How he became the personal cook of Sri Ramanuja is a separate story by itself. When Kurugeshan came to Srirangam with Kidambi Achan and met Sri Ramanuja and requested him that he would like to become his Shishya, disciple, Sri Ramanuja with lots of respect talked about his forefathers, Nadamunigal and Alavandar, and how lucky he is to take birth in that great lineage. Later, when Sri Ramanuja went to Tirupati and learned special meanings and importance of Srimad Ramayana from his maternal uncle, Thirumalai Nambi, Thirumalai Nambi asked Sri Ramanuja to accept 3 of his sons to become his disciples and also told him that Kurugeshan would become one of his very good disciples. Sri Ramanuja accepted all 3 of them to be his disciples. Kurugeshan learned everything from Sri Ramanuja itself. One day, when Sri Ramanuja was walking and thinking about meanings of Divya Prabandha poems, he started enacting based on the meaning of the poems. When Kurugeshan saw Sri Ramanuja's enacting, he asked Sri Ramanuja whether he was thinking about the meaning of verses related to Tirumalirum Sholai Kallalagar. Tirumalirum Sholai is near Madurai in Tamil Nadu. Even today, on Chitra Paurnami day, normally comes in April, May, Lord Kallalagar comes to Vaigai river on horse. Sri Ramanuja was astonished as Kurugeshan, Pillan, told very correctly what words he was thinking about. Sri Ramanuja narrated this incident to a gathering where one of his main acharya, Guru, Periyanambigal, and all Shishyas, including Kurattalvar, was present. Sri Ramanuja also thought about Pillan's day-to-day practices, his knowledge, and his another acharya cum maternal uncle Thirumalai Nambi's words that Pillan would become one of his very good Shishyas. Sri Ramanuja announced in that gathering itself that he is considering Pillan as his Jnanaputra, considering as son through the divine heart. Recognizing his knowledge in Thiruvaimozhi, he gave him a title called Thirukurugai Piran, and that's how he was known as Thirukurugai Piran Pillan. Sri Ramanuja asked Thirukurugai Piran Pillan to write commentary with special meanings of Thiruvaimozhi, as that was one of the 3 wishes of Sri Alavandar. You may be wondering what are the other wishes of Sri Alavandar and why Sri Ramanuja had to fulfill that wish. Sri Alavandar wanted Sri Ramanuja to take over spiritual leadership of the Sri Vaishnava community. Sri Ramanuja set off to meet Alavandar, but before the meeting could materialize, Alavandar departed from this world. But Ramanuja noticed that 3 of Alavandar's fingers remained folded. Ramanuja asked his guru Periyanambi why it was so. He told Ramanuja the reason, that Alavandar had 3 unfulfilled wishes. Alavandar wanted to write a commentary for Brahma Sutra, but he could not do it because of his many duties. So the first folded finger indicated this unfulfilled desire. Secondly, he wanted to do something to honor the contributions of the sages Vyasa and Parashara. Thirdly, he wanted to write a commentary on Nammalvar's Thiruvaimozhi. When Ramanuja promised to carry out these 3 wishes, Alavandar's fingers became unclenched. Ramanuja's Brahmasutra Bhashyam was blessed by Sri Mahalakshmi and came to be known as Sri Bhashyam. When Ramanuja named Kuratalwan's sons Parasara Bhattar and Vedavyasa Bhattar and wrote a commentary of Vishnu Puranam and Bhagavad Gita, the second wish of Alavandar was fulfilled. Upon the command of Ramanuja, his disciple Sri Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan wrote a commentary for Thiruvaimozhi. Thus, Ramanuja ensured that all of the Alavandar wishes were fulfilled. Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan wrote a commentary on Thiruvaimozhi known as Thiru Aarayirappadi and requested Srimad Ramanuja to review it and let him know of any mistakes. Sri Ramanuja reviewed it and was very happy with that excellent commentary, which was written in a unique free flow combination of Sanskrit and Tamil, leveraging the speciality of both languages. This was the first such book written in a combined free flow language of Sanskrit and Tamil, and later many such books were written in the same manner. Sri Ramanuja gave a name to that commentary as Bhagavat Vishayam and praised him that you have proved that the title Tirukkurugai Piran is suitable for you with such a relishing commentary. Through his guru Periyanambigal, Sri Ramanuja heard about a saying of Alavandar. குளம்படியில் நீர் தேங்கினால் குருவி குடித்துப்போம், மழை பொழிந்து வீராணமேரியில் நீர் தேங்கினால் நாடு செழித்துப்போம். Meaning, if little water is available, birds can drink that water, whereas if water is stored in Veeranam lake, it is beneficial for the country. Hence, Sri Ramanuja decided to visit Veeranarayana lake near Kadalur in Tamil Nadu, which is close to the birthplace of Nadamunigal and Alavandar. Veeranarayana lake is shortly called Veeranam lake. When Sri Ramanuja inquired about the speciality of that lake, local people explained to him. This lake was built by Rajaditya Chola around 100 years ago in 930 AD. When there is a lot of rains in Western Ghats, Kaveri river gets lots of water from its catchment areas, and there are floods from June to September. From Kollidam, distributary of Kaveri, Chola king channeled water to Veeranarayana lake through Vadavar river. He also created 74 openings from that lake so that agricultural farmlands across multiple sites can benefit with the rain from Western Ghats. Now, with this information, Sri Ramanuja understood the message of Alavandar and created 74 Simhasanadipadis to share the message that Mahavishnu is the supreme God, and by surrendering to him, one can get out of the cycle of births and deaths. Out of these 74 Simhasanadipadis, Sri Ramanuja selected 4 of them, Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan, Nadaduralvan, Kidambi Achan, and Mudaliyandan, and taught them Sri Bhashya and declared them as Sri Bhashya Simhasanadipadis. Out of them, as Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan wrote Aarayirappadi, Sri Ramanuja declared him as Ubaya Simhasanadipadi for both Veda and Divya Prabandham. Sri Ramanuja also gave his Aradhana, Puja deity of Lord Lakshmi Hayagriva, which he received from goddess Saraswati, to Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. Sri Ramanuja kept his head on Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan's lap and kept his feet at the lap of Kidambi Achan, and then left this world to go to Sri Vaikundam. Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan's main Shishya was Engalalvan. His Shishya was Nadadurammal, and his Shishya was Appullar. Appullar was the Acharya and maternal uncle of Swami Vedanta Deshika. Pundarikaksha came in the lineage of Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. This Pundarikaksha was the son-in-law of Appullar and was working as the Rajaguru of Rayar Samasthanam. As ordered by the Lord Srinivasa, Pundarikaksha handed over the Sri Lakshmi Hayagriva Vigraha to Vedanta Deshika with royal honors in Kanchipuram. Ananta Somayaji of Vishwamitra Gotram, who was one of the 74 Simhasanadipadis nominated by Sri Ramanuja. His son was Pundarika Yajva. His son was Anantasuri. Pundarika Yajva approached Appullar and requested to give the latter's sister Totaramba in marriage to his son Anantasuri. Appullar was belonging to the Vamsam of Atreya Ramanuja Kadambi Achan. Anantasuri's son was Swami Vedanta Deshika. Swami Vedanta Deshika had close connection with 3 of the 74 Simhasanadipadis declared by Sri Ramanuja. He was in the direct lineage of Ananta Somayaji. He has the Guru Parampara, knowledge lineage of both Kidambi Achan and Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. With all their blessings, Swami Vedanta Deshika became a unique Acharya who could write 9 types of Granthams, books like Navaratnas, Shastra Grantha, example Tattva Mukta Kalabam, Stotra Grantha, praying, example Shri Stuti, Paduka Sagashram, Kavya Grantha, Hamsa Shandesham, Nataka Grantha, drama, Sankalpa Suryodayam, Vyakhyana Grantha, commentary, Tatparya Chandrika, Kantana Grantha, critic, Shatadhushani, Anushtana Grantha, practices, Vaishnava Dinasari, Ahara Niyamam, Rahasya Grantha, secret, Srimad Rahasyatrayasaram, Anubhava Grantha, relishing, enjoying, Munivahana Bhogam. That's the story of greatness of Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan and how he got that name. We can meet with another story in the next few weeks. Stay tuned.